A comma is a short pause and a semicolon is a bit longer pause than a comma. So when you say something, the meanings are clearly reaching the listener. But when you write, the same intended meaning should reach the readers. So therefore we need punctuation. But when you talk about spring, summer, autumn, winter, etc., you don't capitalize this. So please remember the difference. Hello students, I'm Anil, Assistant Professor of English, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. In this session, we are going to look at the grammar portion that is prescribed for the students of BCA first semester. What is there in the language component part or the grammar points that you have for this semester? In this session, we are going to look at the punctuation, articles, prepositions, and finally, subject-verb agreement. So these 4 grammar points are there for you to learn in this semester. So let us start with punctuation. What is punctuation? You have been learning punctuation from your school days, and even now we tend to commit some mistakes. So here, to avoid those mistakes, we have to learn the punctuation once again. Instead of using the word learn, let us recall what we have learned. Punctuation is the act of starting, pausing, and ending sentences the right way and in the right place to make intended meaning clear. Language would be formless without proper punctuation. When you write, the language would be formless without proper punctuation. The stated objective of every sentence we write is to produce accurate meaning. So when we write something, so it has to give the same meaning what the writer has in his mind. Punctuation marks help us achieve this objective. Punctuation is used to add clarity to the meaning of written or printed language. The spoken language does not require punctuation. So when you speak, you don't require punctuation. How are you? You need not say, how are you? Question mark, isn't it? So when you say something, the meanings are clearly reaching the listener. But when you write, the same intended meaning should reach the readers. So therefore, we need punctuation. So most of us commit small mistakes. So if we reduce the number of mistakes, then we go towards perfection. So that is why we have this for this semester. Following are the 5 most frequently used punctuation marks when we write. First one is the full stop, a comma, note of interrogation, inverted commas or quotation marks. From this session onwards, you will use for these punctuation mark, quotation marks. Then finally, capitalization of words, letters. Let's go in detail. Full stop. The full stop is used to mark the end of all sentences except direct questions and exclamations. So you have to understand here, the full stop is used to mark the end of all sentences. If I stop this sentence there, I'll put a full stop there. Except direct question, that is question mark and exclamation. To mark the end of an assertive and an imperative sentence. For example, you see here, oceans are full of water. It's a statement. Assertive sentence is a statement sentence. So after an assertive sentence, you put full stop. Do a kind deed every day. Imperative, that means request, command, such kind of sentences here. Also same, you will use full stop in the end. After abbreviations, acronyms and initials, for example, when you write doctor, you have to put a full stop. That means that group of letters has an explanation or expansion. Professor, etc. Viz. Then when you write MCOM, what does this dot stand for? It stands for master. There is a note here. In the modern style, the full stop is sometimes omitted in abbreviations like USA, AIDS, NASA. So why do we do that? Because we already are familiar with these abbreviations or acronyms. So therefore, we avoid putting full stops between them. Now coming to comma. The comma indicates the shortest pause, like this, between words. It is used, first one, to separate a series of words of the same part of speech. We bought, now, same part of speech, all these things, pencil, pens, paper and books. So, comma, comma. And here, before and, we don't usually use a comma. The children laughed. They laughed, danced, jumped and cried of joy. So, same part of speech, object. Then, to mark off the name of the persons addressed. So here, how do you understand? Shashi, do your work. That means somebody is telling Shashi to do his or her work. So therefore, when you put a comma, that means this person is being addressed. Then how are you, Mohan? So before the name, you will put a comma. That means that person, Mohan, is being addressed to. To mark off nouns, pronouns and phrases in opposition. Milton, the greatest English poet, was blind. To mark off nouns, pronouns and phrases in opposition. That means this part in this sentence is talking about Milton. So when you put a comma and finish that phrase with a comma, that means this part is talking about this person. If you remove this part also, the sentence is formed correctly. For example, Milton was blind. So in order to talk about Milton, you are using comma. This portion talks about Milton. Similarly, Kalidasa was illiterate. But here, this comma and this comma help us to talk something more about Kalidasa. Kalidasa is the greatest Sanskrit dramatist. So there we use commas. The other point is to separate each pair of words connected by and except the last pair of words. To separate each pair of words connected by and. Each pair of words connected by and except the last pair of words. High and low, rich and poor, wise and foolish must all die. So here, this is each pair of words, rich and poor, wise and foolish, high and low. So there, that is connected by and, but it's a group of words. So to separate them, we use comma. We should be devout and humble. This is one group of word. Cheerful and serene. So that is another group of words. So to separate this group of words, we use comma here. To mark off a direct quotation from the rest of the sentence. So in reported speeches, you must have learned this in your pre-university classes. She said, we use a comma here, then we will start with quotation mark. And to separate this part from this part, we use comma. He said, again here, this part and this part is separated by this comma. To show the omission of a word, especially a verb. So when we are talking about the same verb, having two sentences, then we use a comma to omit that verb. For example, see here, I received a pen. So I received a pen, Kushi, comma, a watch. That means this comma indicates Kushi also received something, a watch. He is a pilot, he is a pilot, and she, comma, a doctor. This comma indicates she is a doctor. So in order to omit the repetition of verb, we may use comma. In sentences with tag questions, you must have learnt question tags. So to separate question tags from the main sentences, we use that. Sham ate guavas, one sentence. Then we will put a comma and separate the question tag. She was present. Then we put a comma here. Wasn't she? So here is how we use comma in question tags. The note of interrogation. This is the famous quotation mark, question mark. The note of interrogation is used instead of a full stop. You have to understand this, instead of a full stop. So you need not put question mark and then one more full stop. It sometimes happens, but we don't usually do it. But sometimes it happens. After a direct question, we place this question mark. When did you come? Question mark. Where shall we go? Question mark. It is also used for polite request in the form of a question. Polite request will have words like this, please, may, etc. Can you get me the book, please? So, can you get me the book? That is also a question. Please, a polite form of question. May I come in? Polite form of questions. Moving on to the next punctuation mark, it is the quotation marks. From today onwards, use this word, quotation marks, not the inverted commas. So, quotation marks, they are used to enclose the exact words used by the speaker. So, to say that this is what is spoken by somebody, we use quotation mark. He said, comma, then, I love my country. So, this I love my country is what exactly he said. The girl said, I am hungry. Again, the quotation marks. Single inverted commas or quotation marks, they are generally used When a quotation is inserted within a quotation inside a quotation, when that is used, we go for single inverted commas. So look here. In this example, he said to me, I correctly understood your remark. Time once lost is lost forever. So here is the direct quotation, these two. Then here, time once lost is lost forever is the quotation within the quotation. So to separate that, we use single inverted comma within the quotation marks. I hope you understood this. The most commonest of the mistakes students do is this: capitalization or use of capital letters. When we write the answers, we tend to forget this particular punctuation thing, that is capitalization of letters. Why do we do that? Because we don't pay much attention. That's all. That is the problem. We should be careful. So now capitalization, where it is used to start a sentence, for example, my name is Harish. How do you come to college? Second, to begin each fresh line of a poetry. When you write a poetry, it is quite common if you observe the poetry. Each line, though there is no full stop, with each line, every other line starts with a capital letter, just like this. This is a piece of poetry. Work while you work, play while you play. This is the way of life. So the first letters, even though there is no punctuation mark here, we use capitalization of the letters in each sentence. For all proper nouns and adjectives derived from them. For example, all proper nouns. England is a proper noun. Rama, name, Titanic, name. And one who lives in America is American. One who lives in Delhi is Delete. So, adjectives derived from nouns. So we have to use capital letter with this. The next point is, along with the titles of books, newspapers and magazines, so along with the titles of the books, we have to use capital letters. Mahabharata, Ramayana, the Quran, the Hindu is the complete name of the newspaper. So both should be caps. The names of days and months are capitalized, but seasons are not capitalized. So what? Monday, Tuesday, December, March, etc. But when you talk about spring, summer, autumn, winter, etc., you don't capitalize this. So please remember the difference. For all nouns and proper nouns referring to God, so when you use a word which refers to God, you have to capitalize the first letter. The Almighty, see, Almighty, the Lord, His will. Clear? So these words refer to God. To write the pronouns I and interjection. Here, oh, ah, alas, my God. So these are interjections. You should be careful when you write these interjection, capitalization of each letter and then interjection mark. So here capitalization is what we are talking about. And these are the other punctuation, commonly used punctuation marks: apostrophe, parenthesis, that is the brackets, hyphen, semicolon, colon, note of exclamation. So what are these? Apostrophe. The apostrophe is used to show possession. That means one possesses this. For example, a girl's doll, boy's cycle, Madhura's book. These apostrophe talk about possession, that it belongs to someone, somebody. To show the omission of a letter or letters, I have this apostrophe is omitting HA. I am, do not, should not, cannot, it is. So you should remember this. ITS is not equal to IT apostrophe S. Clear? Then honorable, haven't. To indicate the plural of certain words, figures and signs. For example, 6. 6 apostrophe S means many 6. T apostrophe is many T's. 4 5s, M comms. So dot your eyes, that means dot your eyes wherever you have written I. Cross your T's, so whenever you write, cross it. And 6 7s and 5 2s. That means there are 5 times to and 6 times 7. I hope you understood where to use this punctuation mark, apostrophe. Next, parentheses or brackets. This is what we are talking about. Parentheses or brackets are used to separate from the main part of the sentence a phrase or clause which does not grammatically belong to it. For example, at the age of 4. Now, such is the power of genius. So this does not belong to the other sentence grammatically. He could read Sanskrit fluently. Now understand this sentence. At the age of 4, he could read Sanskrit fluently. Now it is talking about the age of 4, but this topic is completely different. Such is the power of genius person. So therefore, in order to separate it, we use this parenthesis or brackets. Now hyphen. You know a small dash is hyphen. Hyphen is a small line which is used to join the parts of compound words. Father-in-law, merry-go-round, up-to-date, full-time. But up-to-date, full-time these days have become one word that we think it is one complete word without any punctuation marks. But this is how you should write. To form compounds beginning with a few prefixes like co, vice, non, self and pre. For example, co-author, vice president, re-establish, self-awareness, non-violence, pre-independence. So with these words, we use this punctuation mark hyphen. To form compound fractions and compound numerals, 1/4. When you write 1/4, fractions, 1/3, 3/4, 1/10, 3/4, etc., you need to use this hyphen to indicate it. Now, semicolon. The semicolon marks a greater pause than that indicated by a comma. A comma is a short pause and a semicolon is a bit longer pause than a comma. It is used to separate coordinate clauses if they are joined by such conjunctions as and, but, or, either, neither, therefore, otherwise, else. He went to the beach but did not get into the water. So he went to the beach, then a short pause. What happened? We don't know. But he did not get into the water. He went to sleep but did not get up in the morning. He went to sleep but he did not get up in the morning. To separate lengthy coordinate clauses where the coordinate conjunction is omitted. The rain fell in torrents. The sky was dark. The road was deep in mud. To separate a lengthy coordinate clauses where the coordinate conjunction is omitted. So there it describes many things happening at the same time. Please open the windows. The weather is very dry and hot. To separate clauses for the sake of emphasis. She wants money to spend. Next clause, friends to talk. That means she wants friends to talk. She wants a car to drive about. She wants a nice house to live in. So in order to mention all these things, we use semicolon. And last one, so many people. So many thoughts. Now semicolon and colon. Colon shows a shorter pause than a full stop but a longer pause than a semicolon. It is used to introduce a quotation or speech. We all know the proverb. So now this proverb, it is not said clear but it is mentioned. To mention it we use colon. Slow and steady wins the race. Rigveda says. What does Rigveda say? Let us get knowledge from all directions. Now this colon is used before examples and explanations. It is used to introduce a list of items. Send me the following. Now after following we put 2 dots. You must have observed in the question papers, answer the following questions. 2 dots, then the questions follow. A pen, a Hindi, English dictionary and an eraser. Send us the following articles, again the same. Next one, to mark off 2 clauses not connected by a conjunction and expressing contrast or 2 contrasted sentences. To err is human, to forgive divine. So 2 opposite ideas. This sentence talks about 2 ideas. That is, to err is human, one part, and the second part which is opposite to it is to forgive is divine. So there we use colon. Man proposes, God disposes. That means one agrees, one disagrees. Opposite in meaning, one sentence. Therefore we use colon to separate the idea. Now the exclamation mark, that is surprise. The note of explanation is used after interjection, sudden burst of emotions, exclamatory phrases and exclamatory sentences. Alas, ouch, bravo, terrible, how wonderful, what an idea, how beautiful she is. So exclamation, it's interjections. So with interjection words, we use this punctuation mark. Now let us punctuate the following sentences. We like reading stories. What is missing here? Full stop. The flag was hoisted at 8 a.m. Full stop. I bought pens, pencils, and erasers for the students. Pens, comma, pencils, and erasers for the students. Full stop. The teacher asked us, have you brought your records? Now you have to understand here. It is the reported speech or the direct sentence. The teacher asked us, comma, quotation mark open. Then capitalization of the word. Have you brought your records? Quotation mark close. So when you start a sentence in the quotation mark, that is like a fresh sentence. Clear? You have to capitalize the first letter. Lakshmi, her sister, and her mother are in Delhi. So first thing is capitalization of L, Lakshmi. Her sister and her mother are in Delhi. Full stop. Wildlife photography, bird watching, and trekking are my hobbies. Here, you have to understand this part first. Bird watching. It's a phrasal word. Bird is a separate thing. Watching is a separate thing. When you combine them, it becomes an activity, bird watching. So to connect that, you will use hyphen. Clear? So similarly, wild photography. You know what is wildlife and what is photography. When you combine them, it becomes an activity. Therefore, you have to join them with a hyphen and put a comma here. And trekking are my hobbies. Full stop. Are you ready to take the test? So when I say it, you get to know it is a question. But when you read it, I don't know how you understand. But some students will put a full stop. Some students will put exclamatory mark. So these mistakes happen. So when you read it, you have to understand how you should read. When it is are you, it is a question. You are ready to take the test is a sentence. Clear? When you interchange them, it becomes a full stop. But are you is question. I hope you people understood the importance of punctuation. Now let us punctuate the next sentence. The material required for the project are. From here, you have to put commas. Microscope, comma, slides, comma, beaker, and a glass jar. The captain didn't allow anyone into the ship. So here, the captain designation, captain caps, did not, apostrophe, into the ship. Ravi's father is the mayor of the town. So here, Ravi, apostrophe, Ravi's father, possession, is the mayor. When you talk about the designation, you have to capitalize, then full stop. I'm the captain and the man of the match. So I am, apostrophe, the captain and the man of the match. This is one phrase. It wasn't the right answer. It wasn't the right answer. We haven't completed the work. What a beautiful picture. So here, when you say what a beautiful picture, it is this. Exclamation. What a beautiful picture. Then, oh, I lost my watch. Here it is again talking about exclamation. Oh, I lost my watch. So this is how you punctuate the sentences after understanding what they are trying to tell you. Let us move on to the other topic. Articles. Articles, you people already know what are articles, but when you are asked to define what are articles, you may not know how to define. It goes like this. Articles are known as demonstrative adjectives. There are two articles in English, the definite article, the, and the indefinite article, a or an. The definite articles is the indefinite article, a or an, is used to show that the speaker is thinking of one object of a certain kind. That means a kind. Now let me tell you how to understand articles. Articles will help you to understand whether the object or thing or an issue that you are talking about is whether known or unknown to you. Clear? So that is what they indicate. Now look, when you say a dog, it might be any dog. When you say a dog, a cat, I saw a dog. When you say I saw a dog, it might be any dog. But when you talk about a particular dog, I saw the dog which was in your house. So there you talk about the dog. That means you definitely know about that dog already. The definite article the is used to show that the speaker is thinking of one particular object or particular group of objects as separate from all the other things of the same kind. The ledger. Now why the ledger? Because the remaining part will talk about which ledger. The ledger you want has been misplaced. So the ledger that you wanted has been misplaced. So this ledger that is already known. Now let us learn about the indefinite article, where to use, how to use. The choice between the use of a and the use of an is determined by sound. Clear? It is determined by the sound of the word. An is used before words beginning with vowel sound. This sound is very important. And before words beginning with H, words beginning with H, which is not accented on. There are some words where we keep that H pronunciation silent and we pronounce from the next letters. So example, an enemy, a, an orange, an elephant, a, an honest man, H is silent, an honest man, an honest girl, an honorable man. Clear? So here we will use the article an, where the sound is of vowels. The indefinite article a or an is used. The indefinite article a is used before the words which begin with vowel letters but have consonant sounds. A girl, a man, a horse, a unit, a university. So why is U is a vowel, but why do we use a here? Because the pronunciation is that of vowel. The pronunciation is that of consonant. A university, when you say U, university, the pronunciation here is YU. Clear? This sound is heard when you say U. Therefore, we use article a. A union, a unicorn, a European. Again, the pronunciation is YU, European. A Eve. When you say Eve, that is Y, Eve. A one, here that is W, a one-eyed monster, a 1 rupee note. With all these words, you have to look at the words, you have to understand them, then keep it in your mind, and you have to remember the rule where to use a article and an article before the words. Then it would be very easy for you. Most probably, where people go wrong is here. Now, use of the definite article. Indefinite article a or an is used before a singular countable. Use of the indefinite article. Indefinite article a or an is used first thing before a singular countable noun. You have to understand a or an is used only to highlight singular countable noun which does not represent any particular person or a thing. This is an apple. That means one apple. Fight like a hero, one hero. Before a singular countable noun which is used as an example of class of things. A teacher teaches the students. A teacher, one teacher. With noun complements including names of professions. He is a lawyer, he is an artist. One lawyer, one artist. To express ratio, price, speed. 60 rupees. Now you have to understand this. 60 rupees a dozen, 3 times a week, 1 week. Now this is for dozen. 40 kilometers an hour, that means 1 hour. In numerical expressions, a dozen, half a dozen, 1,000, a great idea, a great deal of something, a couple. In exclamations before singular countable noun. What a lucky day, such a pity. When the indefinite article is placed before a proper noun, it implies that the person referred to is a stranger to the speaker. Now we are talking about someone. When you say, oh, Mr. Harish, we don't know about that Harish. Somebody named Harish is coming to meet me tomorrow. That means I'm not sure. I'm indefinite. about that. The indefinite article is not used before plural nouns. You have to understand this. Before plural nouns, article is not used. Before uncountable nouns such as water, milk, tea, coffee, wood, iron, etc. With all these things, we don't use any article. Please give me a water is wrong. Please give me a milk, wrong. So, with all these uncountable words, we don't use the articles. Please be careful when you write the sentences. So that was all about the indefinite articles. Now coming to the definite articles. The definite article though is used in the following situations. To speak of a particular person. Now it is particular. Person, thing, etc. already referred to. The pen. Now why is the pen? This talks about it. Presented by my wife is lost. With the names of geographical bodies such as gulfs, rivers, seas, ranges of mountains, oceans, group of islands, and plural names of countries. So here, the Persian Gulf, the Ganga, the Pacific Ocean, the Netherlands, the Himalayas, the West Laccadive Islands. To mention them, we use the. That means definite, which we already know. Then abbreviations are used. The USA, the UK, the WHO, World Health Organization, the KES, Karnataka Education Service, the IFS, Indian Foreign Service or Forest Service, the IPS, Police Service. When an object or group is unique or specific, when something is very unique, that is only one. So with that, the earth, the sea, the sky, the stars, the planet. So here we use the definite articles. Before nouns made definite by the addition of a phrase or clause. The men in blue. So the men who are in blue. So this is a phrase or a clause. The school where I studied. It is giving the address of this school where I studied. The dress I wore. To represent one particular thing. This is the book. The book, that means which I wanted. Clear? Before superlatives and numbers. Superlatives, you must know what are superlatives. For example, good, better, best. The degrees of comparison, you have 3 degrees of comparison. Positive degree, comparative degree and superlative degree. And with words which are superlative, before that you have to use the article. The first, the best, the last, the tallest. With the names of planets, directions, etc. So with the names of the planets, the earth, the Venus, the north, the east, etc. The north, the south, the east, the west. So those things are about the articles. Now, an important topic, prepositions. What are these prepositions? Prepositions that say that means placed before. Prepositions are words used to show the relationship between nouns and or pronouns in the same sentence. In the same sentence, you have both nouns and pronouns. So a word is there to connect, bring a relationship between those two. Such words are called prepositions. For example, I am in the class. I is pronoun, class is noun. So the word which connects both I and class is in. So this word in is called as preposition. So these prepositions are placed before a noun, a pronoun or a noun phrase. They are used to convey ideas like the following. With is the preposition. It is used to convey the idea accompanying or in the same place. Because of, for, now cause or purpose. In, out, of, this. They are used to express these ideas, condition or state of something. About, in, of, with, the content, at, to, the goal or target, of, with, without, having something, into, over, though, towards, the movement. So these words talk about the underlined ideas. Above, below, these two prepositions talk about the level. Around, at, behind, in, they talk about the position. Against, for, with, they talk about showing support or opposition. As, like, they talk about similarity in manners. From talks about source. After, during, since, they talk about time. By, with, they talk about way of doing something. About, across, before, beside, over, behind, towards, within, upon, etc. They all talk about place. When we use prepositions, we must know which one goes with certain verbs, adjectives or nouns. Sometimes the word before a preposition must go together with the word that comes after it. Clear? So prepositions, they have certain rules. Some words should always go with the other word, always. You have to remember that one. For example, after. The players came after the rain. So when the rain stopped, they came. MG Road is named after. That means this road is named after this man. That means this man's name has been put to this road. Among, that means with them, their own selves. The people fought among themselves. At, we stood at the bus stop, near the bus stop. The train arrived at 2 o'clock. When the clock struck 2, the train arrived. The carrots and beans are sold at some price. Away is the preposition which is used. Seeing the police, the thieves ran away. He whiles away his time without studying. That means he wastes his time without studying. By, a father sat by, that means beside his daughter. Raju was bitten by a snake. This snake bit Raju. You will get your assignment by Monday. Before, the train passes Mandya before reaching Mysore. For is the word used to substitute, in exchange, in place or purpose. The government works for the good of people. I have purchased these books for you. I refuse to go to the party for the fear of pandemic. In, the students are sitting in the class. There is something in my coffee. She was dressed in black. During talks about the time. It is dangerous to travel during the pandemic. Inside, let's go inside. Into, he jumped into the water. We walked into the classroom. The boy peeped into the room. On, the bird perched on a branch. There is a fly on the fruit. He has his shoes on. Shoes on. He wore that shoes. The sun was on his face. The exam starts on the 1st of July. 2. We shall go to Maldives for our holidays. I worked to the best of my abilities. This book belongs to, I spoke to my friend. You have to understand the idea and how these words connect the nouns and pronouns in a sentence. Moving on, a very important topic to learn, to recall, to understand is the subject-verb agreement. Subject-verb agreement is the agreement of verb with its subject. Clear? Any sentence will have subject, verb and object. But we have to take care of these two in order to write a proper sentence. The subject and the verb, they have to agree with each other. So that is what we need to understand here. The verb is the central word in the sentence. So this is what is very important in a sentence. The verb denotes action or sometimes merely the fact of existence in relation to the subject. Therefore, the important word in a sentence is the verb. Agreement of verb with subject. They are called rules of Concord. A verb agrees with its subject in numbers and persons. In numbers means singular or plural. And persons, what persons? First person, second person, first person, second and third. Who is the first person? First person is I and we. This is I singular, I plural. Then second person, you. You is both singular and plural. Third person is name, he, she, it. Pronouns and number. Singular is one, plural is many. When there are two or more subjects, the verb is in the plural. Uma and Mahesh are married. When there are two subjects, Uma and Mahesh, the verb is in the plural. The verb, that is are, is in plural. When two singular subjects are connected by either, or, nor, neither, nor, or, either, neither, as well as, in addition to, the verb is in the singular form. So you have to understand the sentence here in order to make out this point. Here, my friend as well as my brother. So here you may think that there are two people in the sentence, my friend as well as my brother. But the idea is we are talking about only my friend, one person, clear? Just like my friend, there is one person, my brother. But the concentration or the entire point here is about my friend. So we use the verb in singular. My friend was waiting for my arrival. When two persons or things or groups are mentioned and either or neither is used in connection with them, the verb is in the singular. Again, there are two proposals, neither of them is good. This sentence, there are two proposals, neither of them is good. Not that, not this. That means you have to use singular verb to talk about them. If the two subjects are connected by or etc. are different in numbers or person, the verb should agree with the one nearest to it. So here, neither Nitin nor I. So when you cut here, this verb should agree with something that is nearby, the subject which is nearby it. If you say neither Nitin nor I am mistaken, clear? This should agree with the noun or pronoun or subject which is nearest to it. Either the cat or the dog is. This should agree with this one because this is not near to this one. The distributive pronouns, each one, everyone, everybody, no one, none, etc., they take singular verbs. So when you talk about everybody, none, each one of you, everyone, everybody, so all these words will take singular verb. Each person has his or her own challenges in life. None of the students has, none, each. When you use these words, they have to agree with singular verb forms. Next one, a collective noun takes a singular verb when the collection is thought of as a whole, but it takes a plural verb when the individuals of which it is composed are thought of. For example, the crowd, we are taking it as a group, one whole thing. So now it becomes singular. The crowd was violent, clear, as a whole. The committee were not unanimous. So here, this word, committee were, we are taking each individual of this committee. The committee were not unanimous in their decision. When the word number is used collectively to take a singular verb. When number of vehicles in the city. When the word number is used collectively, it takes a singular verb. The number of vehicles. You should not concentrate on vehicles. You should concentrate on the number. The number is singular. Even if you say 1000, it's just a number, clear? So here you have to use this. The number of the vehicles is increasing. The number of tourists, again, the point is here, the number visiting Mysore, the number has reduced due to the pandemic. In this session, we learned 4 important things of grammar: punctuation, articles, prepositions, subject-verb agreements. You have to read it, you have to understand the sentence. When you write, all these points become very important. When you speak, you may ignore the punctuation, but when you speak, the use of articles, the use of prepositions, and the use of subject-verb agreement concept will be very important for you. Clear? So keeping all the points discussed in this class, we shall take up many other things in the upcoming classes. Thank you.